Well, a few missing notes there,
it's a shame.
but it's a lovely deep-throated noise. Is it an old family friend?
I think my great-grandmother must have bought it in a country house sale at the turn of the century.
Okay, it's not a harpsichord, it is a wing spinet. It's called a wing spinet because of this bent side where the curvature of the strings is accommodated by the diagonal stringing. And the plucking by the jacks which are concealed under this rail is done by little levers which have quills. Do you know what those quills are made of?
No idea.
The best quill feather for plucking a harpsichord or a spinet was reckoned to be the vulture. But they ran out of vultures, they got onto crows. And today, I think the restorers use the same material that is used for the gentlemen of the clergy's dog collars. Anyway, Thomas Haxby, Ebor Fecit. Ebor, Eboracum, which is the Latin for York. And Thomas Haxby is a well-known recorded spinet and keyboard maker from York. In addition to the inscribed maker's mark on the front, we will perhaps, let's keep fingers crossed, find a pencil inscription on the back. Restored by Arnold Dolmetsch. Does that name ring a bell?
No.
Now, Arnold Dolmetsch is one of the great names in bringing back early music. Music of the 17th and 18th century, and he and his family, who were great viol players, were also interested with all the other instruments that make up what we call Renaissance music and early music. So at some stage, 1905, this instrument went to Arnold Dolmetsch. That in itself is a wonderfully exciting thing. You didn't know it was there?
No idea.
Fantastic. Any idea of the date?
1730s, possibly.
Well, a little bit later than that, because Haxby's instruments are recorded from the 1760s onwards, and he carried on into the 1780s or 90s. Just looking at the case, now there's a lovely piece of furniture. I'm sure that John Bly would rather savour that as a piece of mahogany. So Dolmetsch presumably had a good go at restoring the actual working part of the instrument. Usually it's the soundboard that goes and splits and cracks, but I've also noticed just now, if we look here, we can see a little bit of woodwork. Well, it obviously needs some attention. I don't want to advertise West Dean, but you are in a very good location as far as restoration of musical instruments is concerned.
Yes.
I've given you the official, rather posh name, the wing spinet, for this. In the 18th century, it was known as a leg of mutton spinet, for obvious reasons. I rather like the leg of mutton. How much is a leg of mutton spinet worth? Any idea?
Not really.
I think you could probably get between £12,000 and £18,000 for it if you were to sell it on the open market. So I would insure it for considerably more than that. To go up and buy a Haxby, you might well have to pay a good premium on top of that. So I would suggest you insure it for maybe £25,000, £28,000, something of that order.
Splendid. Well, thank you
Lovely.
very much. It's fascinating. I think we should get it restored and have it played.
My employer inherited a lot of pictures from his mother who died. He gave me the picture and said he would like me to have it because I'd always admired it so much.
What a kind employee. But it's a wonderful picture. It's very romantic. In fact, it's from the sort of Dutch romantic period, from the mid-19th century. And it's by Andreas Schelfat. Or at least I'm pretty sure it is. The signature's not absolutely typical of his, but the whole style and the whole way it is painted is absolutely typical of Schelfat's work.
It looks different in different lights.
I'm sure it does.
At different times. If it's a sunset and it's
Yes.
on it, it looks lovely. If it's cold, it looks icy.
Yes. Well, the Dutch were great painters of light. And in a way, what the Dutch were doing, especially in the 19th century, were imitating the great 17th century painters, the landscape painters of Holland from the 17th century. And they imitate, I think, extremely well, with all the technical know-how and the slickness of real professionals. However, they put a slightly different interpretation on it. They put perhaps a sort of cleaner interpretation, a more rose-tinted, a more idyllic interpretation. But having said that, in a way, this sort of picture is what everyone wants to buy now.
Really?
And in particular, the Dutch, and their economy is booming, are buying a lot of these sort of works. And at the same time, they've always been very, very popular in England. Have you ever had it insured?
I have, yes.
Right. Do I dare ask how much?
It's insured for at the moment.
Yes,
5,000.
5,000. I think you've got to change quite considerably your insurance. I mean, I think this should be insured for, dare I say it, £40,000.
You do really? Gosh.
This would, of course, be slightly subject to double-checking that signature,
Yes,
but
yes.
it's a quality picture, and
Yes.
it's written all over it.